Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today I am having a conversation with actress Torrey DeVitto. Torrey starred as Natalie Manning in Chicago Med and has also starred in the show Beautiful People and had a recurring role in Pretty Little Liars, among many other projects. I am so excited to get to talk with you today. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so let's get started. So you were in a couple of Stevie Nicks music videos. How did that collaboration come about?
Well, Stevie and my mom have been best friends since they were in their 20s. So they've known each other for a really long time. And Stevie's known me since I was born. And I played on the Moonlight track with her. And that came about because one of my best friends that I grew up with, his name was Donald. He passed away. He had committed suicide. And I was in LA when I found out, and my mom was in LA and she was staying with Stevie. So I went over there and I kind of stayed at her house, while I was grieving. And, Stevie was definitely a part of my support system during that time and trying to cheer me up and just be there for me and, with my mom, obviously. And she came in one day and she was like, there's this song that I started writing back in the 70s and I'm going to finally record it and it needs violin. And I would love to have you play it and kind of do that part in honor of you and your friend who just passed. And yeah, and then it was really beautiful because when she played in Florida, which is where I went to high school and middle school and elementary school, the last year of elementary school with my friend, I got tickets for his mom and, Stevie got to meet his mom and stuff. And, I just have that little tribute for him just was really beautiful and special.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about your friend though. That
Oh, thank
is so,
you.
yeah. Yeah, but that's a really yeah, beautiful tribute to
Yeah.
him. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Stevie Nicks. I love her music. So
Yeah, she's amazing.
yeah. Yeah. Um, so who has had the biggest impact on the person you have become?
Oh gosh, that's such a hard one to answer because there's so many different pieces. Like, my dad really instilled in me, in my workspace, to always be kind to everybody and to have really good work ethic and work for what you want and everything's possible. And, my mom just definitely, she was always so there for me and made me feel like everything was going to be okay and just always supported me and, just always had this sparkle about her when in any room she enters. Um, and I have really beautiful grandparents that inspired me too, and I have a lot of women in my life. And then when it comes to acting, there's this woman, Peggy, I don't even remember her last name, but she played my grandmother in a play I did when I was 18. It was called Eleemosynary. She really just inspired me so much as an actress because she was so talented and just loved her craft and just kind of embodied this I don't care about what anybody thinks confidence to her. And I remember like at that young age thinking, oh, I really want to be like that. And then, there was also this guy, Matthew Del Negro, who I worked with on Beautiful People, the first show I ever did. He played my boyfriend, and I remember him really having this confidence in me and telling me one day, like, anything you want to do, you're going to be able to do. And that really stuck with me, that somebody who had been working for so long and was so talented had confidence in me, and that really stuck with me. So it's kind of like all these different people in combination are kind of my biggest inspirations, you know?
Oh, yeah, I love that. Yeah. Um, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Oh my goodness. When the sun comes out, being able to read a good book, finding a book cafe, like being able to order a latte and just sit down and read or write in like the company of like a cute cafe or especially like a book cafe. I
Yeah,
love book cafes. Those make me so happy.
yeah.
Being able to see my niece and spend time with my niece makes me happy.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I always love finding cute cafes and bookstores, and yeah,
Yeah, totally. Me too.
yeah. Um, so I am pop culture obsessed, and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Um, so I just finished a show that I was obsessed with. It was called A Time Called You. It was a K-drama. I'm very much into K-dramas. So most of the shows I watch are all K-dramas. But the last show that my fiance
Cool.
and I actually watched together was House of Usher. I really liked that one a lot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of those.
We have to add them to
But
your list.
I will. Yeah, I'm keeping a list that as soon as you mention them, I was adding them. Yeah. Um, yeah, my mom and I just finished the limited series One Day on Netflix.
Oh, how
Um,
was that? It looks good.
it's yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
Good. I'll
I
check that
highly
out.
recommend it. It's so good.
Awesome. I'll add that one to my list.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, and other than that, I mean, I'm watching Chicago Med. I'm obsessed with that.
Good.
And yeah. Chicago
Awesome.
Med and Graham are my go-tos right now.
That's awesome. I love that.
Um, so what is your favorite way to procrastinate?
Oh my God. My favorite way to procrastinate is kind of just like milling about the house, walking around doing things and knowing it's time to get ready and I don't. And whether that's like reading my book too long, just, laying in bed too long. I think my favorite way to procrastinate is probably hitting snooze on my alarm. I'm not the best morning person and I definitely love my time in bed. So I'd say that gets me in trouble more than anything.
Yeah. Uh, so if you had to pick any character in a book, movie, or TV show who is most similar to you, who would you choose and why?
That's interesting. In a book, movie, or TV show that's most similar to me. Oh my goodness. I don't even know. That's really hard. Oh my gosh. I don't know who's most similar, but I think hmm, I don't know. I remember like when I was very young thinking I related to Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye, but that probably doesn't shine a very nice light on me. But at the time when I was reading it, I think I was in a very angsty place and I thought, this is the most relatable fictional character I've ever read. um, but yeah, gosh, that's really hard. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I have to think about that one. If it pops up while we're talking about other stuff, I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can always come back to that question.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Um, so what do you wish people better understood about you?
Um, I wish people, sometimes I post a lot of stuff on my Instagram that I do feel very passionate about, and especially surrounding um, female rights or, anti cruelty and stuff like that. And I understand that a lot of people have their opinions. But sometimes when I get so much hate about things that I feel like I put out there in such a loving way, I get really sad and it really confuses me because I wish people felt my intention a little bit more rather than going straight to, so much anger sometimes. Because everything I do, I feel like I always try to fuel it by love and, you know, keep the conversation open. I know everybody's different. I'm not trying to ever sway someone in one way. I'm always just trying to get people like, okay, if you see it just this way, like maybe you could just look at it this way. Do you know what I mean? And so I feel
Yeah,
like if people knew my intentions, maybe they wouldn't attack so much.
yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I totally understand that. And yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
Oh my gosh. Um, I feel like in pure Gemini form, I can't just pick one. It would probably go between like a dark comedy or a romance because I can be like kind of head in the clouds, like romantic. And then sometimes, I always try to find laughter in really traumatic situations. So I feel like, yeah, like a dramedy or a romantic movie.
I love that. Yeah, my family and we have a very dark and warped sense of humor, so we
Yeah,
usually laugh about things that we realize we probably shouldn't be laughing at,
exactly.
but then we can't stop laughing. So
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I think, yeah, mine would probably have to be a dark comedy too, because there's a lot of conversations my family and I have that we're like, thank goodness nobody's around to hear that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So, what three words do you think best describe you?
Oh my gosh, that's a difficult one too. Um, I think the three words that best describe me would be um compassionate, empathetic, and easygoing.
Oh, I love those.
You.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so do you have a go-to comfort show or movie?
Um, so I haven't watched it in a really long time, but for a while, whenever I would like kind of go through like a little bit of a depressive spell or something, I got really stuck on watching the live action of Cinderella. It like brought me so much comfort for some reason. I was so obsessed with that movie. It was a little ridiculous. Um, something like that. I love that. Or like Pride and Prejudice, like anything that just kind of like swoops me away and I don't really think about much else,
Yeah.
um, is really comforting to me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have so many that I just like rotate between.
Yeah,
So
totally.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I love the shows that can just like take you to another world.
Yes, me too. Me
Yeah,
too. I love anything in life that when you're doing it, you're just kind of transported and you're not thinking about other things.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember when I was going through radiation a few years ago, I started watching the show Arrow because
Uh-huh.
it was just one that I was like, I can just totally escape, and it's one that I I can't think about all my anxieties and everything because then I
Exactly.
wouldn't know what's going on. So I was like, it
Right.
forces me to pay attention and not think about everything else. So
That's amazing. Yeah, I love stuff that can do that. It's really
yeah,
great.
too. Yeah. Um, so of all that you have accomplished so far, is there something you're most proud of?
Um, so this is kind of maybe not totally the answer to the question, but well, we'll see. I think what I'm most proud about, I've thought about this before, is like not necessarily like any project in particular. I think it's the moments where I get the most proud is when, you know, I'm in an opportunity to use my voice for something that's really important to me. And I know that through my career and the hard work in acting, that's how I got there. And to be able to step up for things that I love and have a platform because of my career, like those are the moments in my career that have made me most proud. And I also feel like, the business I'm in is a pretty tricky one. There's a lot of interesting personalities that you're having to manage all the time. And, I've just kind of seen a lot of people kind of get swept away or eaten up. And I've always been really proud that no matter what situation I've been put in or anything, I've always been able to keep a level head and I'm still the same person I was before I even started doing all of this. And so I think I'm most proud of that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, yeah. So, um, just really quickly going back to Chicago Med. What was your favorite part about playing Natalie for so long?
I really loved Natalie. I felt like there was so much of her that was so similar to me. Um, I put more of myself into that character probably than I have with any other character. I mean, we had a lot of differences too, but she really became such a huge part of me and she will be a part of me forever. And I think that that was definitely, one of my favorite parts. I just really liked who she was as a character. And I also loved the majority of the people I got to work with, like getting to work with Nick Gelfis almost every day, especially in the beginning, was the best. I mean, he's not only an amazing scene partner, but he really became like one of my closest friends and like a brother to me. And I have lasting friendships with a lot of my castmates, like him and Epatha and, Brian and, Oliver, like the just lovely, 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 lovely people. So that's always my favorite part when you get to take away like not only just the experiences, but the people that you got to share them with.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so do you have any irrational fears?
Yes, ton. Um,
Me
one of
too.
one of my main irrational fears, I have a really ridiculous fear of public bathrooms. Not all public bathrooms. It's like when I go into a specific public bathroom, I can feel that it's not a good one, and I don't know why. And I get so scared that sometimes I actually have to run out and ask a friend or a family member to come into the bathroom with me because I have this weird fear that certain public bathrooms are portals to another dimension and that I'm going to get stuck in the bathroom and people are going to come in and be like, "Where did she go?" And I'm like, "I'm right here," and nobody can see me. Or I have this like weird irrational fear, like, oh my God, what if like ghosts really do exist? And what if there are really bad ghosts? And what if one takes over my body one day and makes me do really horrible things? And then I come back into my body and nobody believes that it wasn't me. I don't know where these fears come from. They're so irrational. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely relate to the fear of public bathrooms though.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is stop chasing and start attracting. Whatever
Mm.
belongs to you will simply find you. Um, is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
A quote that I actually saw a long time ago, but I've recently been thinking about again because I'm the kind of person like I love connecting with people. I love connecting with my friends, but I'm also like I have to be alone a lot. Um and I don't necessarily love like interacting with strangers that much. And I'm always trying to figure out like, well, what does that mean? Because I love spreading love, but then it makes me feel, not like a cold person at all. But I like to keep to myself a lot. But I think sometimes from the outside it might look like, oh, she's just disinterested or something. But sometimes I get nervous around small chat. Like I get a little bit of social anxiety. I'm like, oh God, if we have to do small chat, what if I run out of things to say? Oh my God, this is like blah. And sometimes I just would rather be by myself. So one of my favorite quotes, and whenever I'm having any kind of social anxiety, I think of this quote was be the person who makes others feel confident in your presence. And I really love that because to me, if I'm in a situation that I'm like, oh, I feel a little uncomfortable, or let's say I start a new job and the person doing my hair, I don't think they're doing a very good job. And so I'm getting anxiety, like, how do I say this? And then I think, okay, if I just calm myself down and say, how can I proceed in this situation and allow this person to know that however they are is perfect. It's perfect. Like however you are is perfect because you are perfect. Everybody here is perfect. So I want people to feel that in my presence, that when you're around me, you feel confident to be whoever you are because I'm not judging it. Even if I am quiet, I still energetically want you to feel confident in my presence.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I really love that. Um, yeah, and I can absolutely relate to everything you were saying. That I don't, yeah, like I get very anxious talking to people I don't know. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's hard for me. The small chat is very difficult.
yeah, definitely. Um, well, have just had the best time talking with you. I
Thank
could
you.
just keep talking to you for hours.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm such a fan of yours. So really thank you so much for being on my show. I so appreciate your taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap on today's edition of the latest with Maya.